you. What a day for Minnesota. And what a difference a year and an election can make in our state. Last year there were concerns that marriage equality would be banned here forever. Now, my signature will make it legal in 2.5 months. First and foremost, I want to thank the people of Minnesota who voted last year to defeat a very destructive constitutional amendment. And also to elect courageous legislators who would support this monumental social advance. I want to thank the activists, all of you here tonight, and the thousands more throughout our state who worked so long and so hard to win this extraordinary victory. And at the risk of leaving out many deserving leaders, special recognition should go to Richard Karlbaum. Richard brilliantly masterminded last year's and this year's campaign. Congratulations to the chief authors, Representative Karen Clark and Senator Scott Dillon. Who will be speaking to you shortly. They shepherded this bill along an often difficult path, and they've now succeeded, to the amazement of some and to the delight of many of us. Thank you to the House and Senate leaders, Speaker Paul Thiessen, Majority Leader Tom Bach, who I think is in the Senate, Majority Leader Aaron Murphy, Senator Katie Stephen, and I guess she's in the Senate too. Okay. We're getting on the child care bill. It's very important. And I want to express my utmost admiration to the Republican and Democratic legislators who voted for this bill. Many of them are standing here behind me, and they deserve to hear our gratitude. I suggested to you legislators that you read John F. Kennedy's Profiles in Courage book. Instead, you wrote its latest chapter.
Yes.
By your political courage, you joined that pantheon of exceptional leaders who did something truly extraordinary. You changed the course of history for our state and our nation. Our country's founding principle was stated 237 years ago in the Declaration of Independence. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, and among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. That principle was later embodied in the 14th Amendment of the United States Constitution, No state shall deny to any person within its jurisdiction the equal protection of the laws. Unfortunately, our nation's founding fathers had bold aspirations, but bad implementation. They were only denied those equal rights and protections to women, African Americans, and other racial minorities. They also left out GLBT men and women. If you believe, as I do, that life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness certainly include the right to marry the person you love. Since then, our country's most important progress has been to extend those equal rights and protections to everyone. That progress has often been difficult, controversial, and initially divisive. However, it has always been the next step ahead to fulfilling this country's promise to every American. So it is now my honor to sign into law this next step for the state of Minnesota to fulfill its promise to every Minnesotan. Now my distinct pleasure and honor to introduce a wonderful friend and great leader of our state, Representative Karen Clark.
The governor said a lot when he said we never guessed 2 years ago when we had that horrible constitutional amendment proposed that we would be here today. But we work in strange ways in our culture, in the legislature, in Minnesota, and I believe we're very blessed to be here today. I want to share with you something that I talked about on the floor of the Minnesota legislature. I shared this photo, and I'm going to quote what the line says on the photo. And who's in this photo? 20 years ago, 1993, when we add sexual orientation to the Minnesota Human Rights Act. Remember that? This sign, carried by my mother Millie and my dad Joseph, says, "Our gay children should have the same rights as our heterosexual children." And I were there, another family from PFLAG, Parents and Families of Lesbians and Gays, and they marched in that parade. And I have to say, they really gave me the courage to do what we needed to do just a couple of days ago. That was 20 years ago. And getting to that point had taken 20 years before that. And so I just want to recognize that as we talked about the debate on the floor, we talked about families, and that this is so much about our families. And I want to recognize, although my mother and father have passed, I do have some of my family members here who came all the way from Sioux Falls, South Dakota, my brother Edward, my sister Mary, my nephew Philip, and my two great nephews. And I just want to say, I heard a story today from my nephew Michael, who told me that in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, in the Catholic school where he goes, he stood up and defended the rights of gay and lesbian people. And for that, he got out of school to come today. My partner Jacqueline